Hey y'all, it is 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to my fellow Americans. And we're gonna get some stuff done around the house today. Got my overalls on, my chicken cup. We're gonna get to work. Justin's home from having to go to work today, so we're gonna work around the house. Get some things done here at our home and our homestead that needs some attention. Some stuff in the garden, some stuff in the greenhouse. We'll see what we get done, and then we'll cook a good meal this afternoon. We let the chickens out of the chicken tractor on this particular day to move it, but that's not what we usually do. We usually just put their food at the front, their food and their water, and then we scoot the chicken tractor until it's up to the food and the water. We don't usually let them out, but we did on this morning. Right now we still have some of our what are going to be egg-laying chickens in with our meat birds, just because they were all the same size and we had to move them outside at the same time. So we put them all in here, and it's plenty big enough for that many chickens, but we're gonna move them out soon is what I'm getting at, and put them in their own coop. Do some of that transitioning, moving chickens in, moving our medium chickens in with the big chickens, and then giving these that other coop. But this is plenty big enough for them all to be in right now. We still have a little more cleaning up to do out here in this melon patch, and we're going to plant some pumpkins out here, I think. But let me show you, we did clear all this out. Let me show you some of these cantaloupe. I would have to go back and look to see the exact name of these. The flesh on the inside's a lot like a cantaloupe. These are a French melon, I believe. And then over here I noticed, let's get that vine off of you. I'm going to move it much, but have some watermelons. We have both red and orange meated watermelons out here. When I showed these North Georgia Candy Roaster squash in a recent video, several people asked, what do you do with those? These are winter squash, so real quick, simple squash lesson. Those yellow squash that you're used to seeing in the grocery store, like You know, we've got some straight neck yellow squash planted, crook neck yellow squash, your zucchini. Those are summer squash that you're going to eat when they're smaller and eat flesh and all. Eat them, harvest them when they're small and tender. Winter squash you let get big and ripen on the vine. We should be able to store these pretty well. Kind of like a butternut squash or a pumpkin, something like that. And this is our first time growing these, so we're gonna have to experiment, but I wanna make some soup out of it. So with this, you would eat the flesh on the inside. So I like butternut squash soup, so I thought we could try a soup with these. People say they're a little sweet, so you could do something like a pie, like you would a pumpkin pie. So that's the plan, and I'll have to show you what we do with them once we start harvesting them. But they are a winter squash, so they'll stay on these vines until they're fully grown and ripened and ready to pick. I'm officially nice and sweaty and dirty, but the pots that I had sitting on the steps right there with the marigolds and the sweet potato vines in it, they had gotten completely root bound and were not growing anymore. So I put the marigolds out in the garden in hopes that maybe they'll grow a little bit out there. And I put the sweet potato vines in the ground right here to see if I can get them to run up the steps. I've always planted them in the ground in the past. I mean, I've seen people grow them in containers, but if you can get them in the ground and get them going, they grow so big and beautiful. I used to grow them all the time in our flower bed and let them run up the steps, which these will be a little bit behind, but they'll stick around till it frosts really hard on them. So I don't know, maybe they'll have a little time to grow. It's time to pull these potatoes out of this bag. I'm kind of curious to see. Ooh, it's pretty wet in there. Maybe we should let it dry out. Maybe it ain't. It ain't that wet. It just looks like it. The dirt's just dark. This is, I think, a 7-gallon grow bag, and I put 3, was there 3 seed potatoes? And I grew a few potatoes, but not near as well as the ones in the ground did. I have some tomato plants. I think there's 3 of them here that got a pretty good bit of blight, to the point where I think it's best to just take these plants out. I'm going to pull any of the tomatoes that are on them. I've already started with some of these Cherokee Purple. As long as they have started to blush, they'll continue to ripen. And then any of them that are just solid green, here's another one that's blushing. Several of those, any of them that are solid green may not, but we can eat fried green tomatoes with those. I think it's just best to get these plants out. And I've got a few small plants that were still in cups that I'm going to try to put in their place just to see how they do, because why not? But these need to come out. I think it's 2 Cherokee Purple and 1 Homestead tomato that need to come on out. Then I had a few that split because we had some really dry weather, and then we got a lot of rain and it caused some of them to split. So those, especially if they were really bad, I'll probably just go ahead and take those to the chickens. Y'all, when I cleared out some of these tomatoes and could see inside this, over on the squash a little bit better, we have squash bugs. I see the bugs, I see some eggs, and I see some powdery mildew on this squash too. It may have to come out. I'll try to get off what I can and just see what happens. I don't know though, it may not make it much longer. We're at that point though. We're at that point in the year. And that's one reason why you might want a succession. So, something like squash is because they're bound to find it. I think what I've decided to do is I'm going to cut off this leaf that looks like it's got powdery mildew. And then I'm going to cut off the branch that has the most squash bugs on it. And I only see eggs on 1 leaf, so I may just cut those off. You could also get the eggs up with some tape. I don't see a bunch. Oh, look at them boogers. Y'all gotta go. It may end up being best that we pull the whole plant out, but I'm gonna try this and watch it for now. It's so incredibly hot and humid. So here's your little reminder. When you're working in these hot temperatures, take a break, cool off, and drink plenty of water. How many did we use last time? Oh, that was too bad. Tonight for dinner we're gonna do chicken on a can. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that or if y'all have done that before, but you can set the whole chicken over a can. I got garden fingernails, y'all. It is what it is. You can set the whole chicken over a can and you could put it on the grill or in the oven. We found these, I don't even remember where we got them. I can't remember. We've had them for years, and it's the same concept, but it's wider at the bottom, so you can pour whatever you want in here and then set the chicken over it, and it just gives it a sturdier base. So we're gonna fix some chicken tonight, and so I need to go and get these out. We'll go ahead and open up a can of Coke and pour in these just like you would sit it on a can, and then probably put half a stick of butter in each of these as well. That's what we usually do. What is that one? A tomato?
Tomato.
Fried green mater. And some squash and some tomatoes. So what do you got over here? Just flour?
Flour and
And then an egg wash.
yeah, probably a little too much milk in the egg wash, but had to remake it on the fly.
What have you got in here?
Cornmeal and flour and salt and pepper.
Some secret seasonings.
They're not sponsors. We're not gonna say it.
It's Cajun two-step. Y'all know we like two-step.
Tomatoes are very pretty when they come up.
Got some of those I pulled off today.
Mm-hmm.